Welcome to the Gorgeous Gray podcast. I am Nicole Scott, your host, registered holistic nutritionist, rest mindset coach, author of the Gorgeous Gray movement, and the co-creator of the Menopause Reset program. In this podcast, we have real conversations about aging as a woman and all the pressure and uncertainty we feel as we head into menopause and beyond. Let's face it, aging is not an easy conversation to have, but I say it's time to talk about the messy middle and offer hope when we feel like giving up on ourselves. Let's talk about our fears around gray hair, our muffin tops, and even our dry, itchy vaginas and everything in between. I will help you reconnect to your feminine energy and offer real solutions from experts in their field to navigate aging as a woman. I believe we, as women, deserve to shine even brighter in this next chapter of life. So with a sense of humor and a lot of compassion, let's dive into these vulnerable conversations. Hello, gorgeous gray women. It's Nicole Scott for another episode with a good friend of mine, Susan Esco from the Silver Hair Movement. Susan, thank you so much for tuning in from Long Beach, California.
Oh, yeah. You're welcome. I'm so honored to be here. Thank you.
So good. Susan was kind of like one of my first girl crushes. I'm not gonna lie. She was going
Oh,
through this
sure.
gorgeous
Thank you.
transformation with her hair and followed her. I interviewed her, I think, a few times before on the YouTube channel. And I was just like, I just love this woman. I love what she stands for. I've been following her amazing journey. You know, when you just kind of love to follow people, you're one of them. And I can't
Oh,
wait to share your story with these amazing women that are always looking for inspirational stories. When I think inspiration, I think of you.
oh, thank you. Thank you, sis.
So
Appreciate
let
it.
me just give you a little background on Susan. First off, I want to get you guys going to her Instagram. So it's Susan Esco, and you can see her name in the corner. They're spelled ESCO, and then it's official.
Yep.
And you can check her out there. She is many things, from the speech pathologist, her kind of corporate professional job, but then she's followed her heart over the years. And you see her in commercials and modeling and doing all these really cool things. And, you know, I followed her around traveling the world and hanging out in Mexico. And now I'm here in Mexico.
Yeah.
So today's episode is really going to dive into just going like, you're a whole different person than you were 5 years ago. And you
Yeah.
mentor a lot of women in your story, your journey, and your own internal transformation. So let's dive in, Susan, and talk first just about, what inspired you to allow your, natural hair to come in, and how has that transformed your life?
I love the way, okay, first of all, language is powerful. I'm a speech language pathologist, and I love the way you said allowed. When did you allow yourself? Because a lot of people say, oh, when did you let yourself go? I'm like, girl, I didn't let myself go. I embraced me. I accepted me. I allowed me to be me. So, yeah, so I actually allowed myself to embrace my authenticity over about 10 years ago. I was inspired. I was so homeopathic and natural, and I was eating all the good foods and taking all the great supplements. But then every 6 weeks, I was sitting there with this dye straight to my
Yeah.
bloodstream and my scalp. And I was just like, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? Because we
Mhm.
know it takes about 4 or 5 hours out of our day. It costs, oh, I don't know, over $100 at least.
Mhm.
And the next within 3 days with this white, you see the roots. And I'm like, why am I fighting? Why am I fighting aging?
Yeah.
And yeah, I just cut it all off to like Jamie Lee Curtis length, super short, and let it grow out. I embraced it 3 whole years. It was quite the transformative process, as you know,
Amazing. Yeah. Yeah.
life changing.
So great. And so tell us a little bit more of the transformation that happened to you when you allowed that beautiful natural hair color. Like, what did you give birth to? Because I know you have a
Um,
child, so you know what birthing is like.
yes,
But this, I don't
yes.
know. Was this a bigger birth than your child?
It was more like a transformation.
Mm,
You know, people say, oh, gray hair transition. I say it's a silver hair transformation. I was
right.
a caterpillar and I went into my chrysalis and I went in within myself. And during this whole process, I fought aging, you know, ageism. People would
Mm.
look at me cockeyed, cock their head to the side, and they'd be like, "Are you okay?" You know, I thought that something was wrong with me. Like, why would you do that? Why would you
Mm,
age yourself? I'm like, what
mm,
are you talking about? I'm still at the time, I'm still, let's say, 45 years old. I mean,
mm.
I started graying at 28. So
Yeah.
why? Who says we're supposed to hide this? This is just another color on the color wheel, right? You know, so during that
Yeah.
process, growing out my hair, I'd get all these weird comments, and I tried to figure out how can I just summarize why I'm doing what I'm doing. And that's when I came up with that hashtag, die free to be me. Like, I am literally die free just to be me.
Yeah.
No harm, no foul. You can be you. I'll be me, you know, no judgment on anyone, but I'm
Yeah.
choosing just to be authentically, naturally me. And I learned to love myself. And my favorite quote was, when one discovers love of self, magic surrounds you.
That is so beautiful. And I definitely see the magic. I know you have been in a lane with a vision to be in a certain career,
Mm-hmm.
and you're manifesting that, and I see it unfolding. And I love when I see your posts and you're like, oh, I just got another call and I just got this opportunity. So let's talk about this. You're a speech pathologist, but you also had another dream, another
Mm-hmm.
vision. What was that for yourself, and how is that unfolding for you today?
Well, the funny thing about my dream or vision, it was totally tied into the silver hair movement. So I am a Capricorn. I'm always multitasking. I always have brilliant ideas. And I was thinking, when I learned how to love myself and I started the Die Free to Be Me movement as a way to spread this love to other women, to tell them, hey, you know, once you start accepting yourself as you are, you learn to accept other people as they are as well. And just moving in an air of non judgment and gratitude every day. I was so excited about it. So I thought, how can I get this message out faster? And I thought, well, I need to be in the magazines. I need to be on the television. I need to be in the movies. I need to just be a walking role model for us midlifers and the younger girls, younger women coming up. I just need to be a role model and be seen so that they can say, wow, what? You can be silver and like sensational and over 50 and like silverlicious. Like, so I am modeling and acting as a platform to get this message of self-love and empowerment out to women everywhere. Yeah. So it's kind of
So
a weird
great.
way. I never dreamt to be a model or an actress. It just kind of unfolded with this whole Die Free to Be Me movement. It's just my way to inspire more people as quickly as possible. Yeah.
I love that. So it's
Yeah.
like you didn't, grow up going, oh, I'm going to be a model. It is kind of like morphed based on what your message and purpose is for women to love themselves and to embrace this movement and beyond. I love that. I remember when you went to New York City,
Mm.
and you kind of started that, um, I just still remember some of your pictures in the streets and stuff. And I'm like, oh, here she goes. I just like,
Yeah.
oh, I saw greatness for you. So tell me what one of your favorite photo shoots were. Where were you? Who
Okay.
hired you? And why did you love that one? Why was that so special for you?
Okay. Well, I'm going to give you guys a secret, an insider tip. Okay. So all these fantastic, sensational, I'd say 90% of these sensational photos I have on my Instagram. I actually traveled to places and I actually hired photographers off of Airbnb experiences tab. So you have local photographers who are willing to work with you and shoot you out in the local cities where you're traveling. So my favorite shoot was I went on an Airbnb thrift store experience in the morning. I thrifted all these fabulous outfits in Manhattan, and I hired a photographer to follow me around Times Square and Central Park. So we literally had about 2 hours together. I did 4 outfit changes, just literally in the New York alleys, in doorways, behind trees in Central Park. And I modeled the clothes that I had just thrifted that morning. So yeah.
Wow, that is
Yeah.
so cool. That is so cool. Yeah.
So you don't have to be hired to create and collaborate with other humans, you know? It's a low cost option, and I got 10 billion beautiful pictures. So, yeah.
What a great idea. I would have never even thought about that.
Mhm.
I remember when I went to pick up a Halloween costume for like an event, and I had found this woman close to me, but she had done, I don't know, for years costumes. And then when COVID happened, she just moved everything into her basement of her house. And it was so magical. Like I felt like I was a kid in a candy store. And I'm
Yeah.
like, this is the coolest shop I've ever been to. And
Mhm.
you know what she said? She goes, last week there was a huge social media influencer that showed up with a photographer, and she
Okay.
asked if we could do a photo shoot in the back of my forest. And they came for half a day and did exactly what you're talking about. She
Mhm.
literally went in and did all these costume changes and did this
Yeah.
whole photo shoot in the forest, almost like a fairy. She said that she was this fairy in the forest. I'm like, oh my gosh,
I
that's
love
such a fun
that.
idea.
Yeah, make the world your stage. Like
Yeah.
you are the writer of your screenplay.
Yeah.
You write the next chapter, fill it with whatever magical enchanted, experiences you want. I mean, that's what I need to tell you guys.
Oh,
Take your power back to write your story. Create a
that's
story minute to minute. Yeah.
so beautiful.
And
And I know you're getting
no one's gonna do it.
emotional.
No one's gonna do it for us. We're the only
Right.
ones that are gonna do it for us. So start today. Make your today as magical as you want it to be. Right?
Why is this message so important to you?
I think it's probably because I lost my mom when I was 28.
Mm,
So I never had someone tell me these things.
right. Yeah. So you're being the role model for others that need to hear it from somebody that has the wisdom and the years, just like
Yeah.
a mama bear.
Yeah, the matriarch. Yeah.
Mm,
And I think that all of us sisters, all of us matriarchs can like come together like in the olden
yeah.
days where we
Yeah.
were the leaders of the tribe. We were the ones guiding everyone in their next steps.
Yeah. Yeah. And the color of our hair is just that symbolism of our wisdom and our years that we can pass down. It's like the torch, the baton, and how we can serve this younger generation to be such a better selves. And I just love what you stand for. And I just want to say thank you so much for the mission that you are on. It's so good. It's so powerful. Follow her online. You will see she is the real deal. She has so much to share. Is there a project that you can share that you're working on right now? I know you always have a lot of things up in the air and shooting, and I know that we were even
Yeah.
delaying this because you had an
Yeah.
audition.
Some
Like, talk to me.
auditions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's another message too, is that I was doing the modeling and acting full time for the last 6 months and realized I really can't pay my bills right now on the gigs that are coming through. So I dipped back into speech pathology. So there's another message is that, we can actually do it all.
Mhm. Right.
We don't have to choose one thing. We can do it all. As long as you remember to fill your cup first, and then share with what overflows with others. You can do it all. So my newest project is within the last 4 years, I started bubbling. I do large wand bubbling as a way to bring humanity together. I say I'm raising the vibe of humanity one bubble at a time. So I bring a big bucket of bubbles out to parks and beaches and with lots of large wands, and I harangue people off the bike path. Come play, you know, come be with me in this moment. Come remember the inner child. Make time for play and be intentional in creating joyful moments in your life. So again, the Capricorn in me is like, how can I raise more vibes all at once? Well, I decided to become the Hollywood bubbler. So I'm bringing the magic of bubbles to the entertainment industry in commercials, music videos, movies, sitcoms. I'm just here to bubble, to be bubbly.
I love it. I love that you're creating this brand on so many levels. You are playful, you're fun, you're authentic, you're amazing. One last
Aww.
message to the audience of women kind of stuck in their life. What would you say to them?
Move in gratitude. Gratitude, vibe. We were all energy. We're all vibrations. Gratitude is the highest vibe you can move in. Gratitude means you're joyful. So even if you're stuck in a moment of contrast, something that doesn't feel right, just look around and be grateful for anything. And you think about that for 7 seconds and your vibe is already raised back up. So that's my trick, is moving in gratitude, being intentional, be a kind, loving human, love everyone unconditionally, and they'll love you back unconditionally. You know, we get what we give. And be pro-aging. Be pro-aging. Forget about all these doodads and knickknacks and things that people tell you need to do. Just enjoy life. Life's too short to worry about something we can't control, ladies. It truly is.
Susan, I'm grateful for you. Thank you for being that light that the world needs to see. And I don't know, I've been getting goosebump chills for her message. And so these are the type of women that are out there trying to spread the love and the word, to be that best version of yourself, embrace. You know, it's fun being in Mexico, Susan, because I don't really wear makeup down here.
Right? I know.
I thought I could never go on a podcast or go on an interview without makeup. Like, oh, I have to, do that. And honestly, because I've been doing it for 2 months now, I'm like, I actually like myself more with no makeup now than makeup. And I've worn it a few times when I've gone out, but I'm like, it's more of a pain in the when down here, because it's so hot that it just falls off your face. And so I'm like, wow, who could have thought? And this is the message of like that self-love, that transformation. It's like, can I love everything about me? Can I show up, without the makeup, without the mask, without, all of that. So it's like I'm falling in love with the earrings versus the makeup, right? Bring the fun jewelry and the fun playfulness versus having to worry about all of the makeup. But I just want to share that with you. Just learning, right? It's another level of like, oh, it's possible. And anyway, Susan, thank you so much. Thanks for tuning into this awesome episode. If you love it, make sure that you share it with your women friends that need to hear this message of hope, inspiration, and of course, gratitude.
Yes.
Thank you, Susan.
Sister. Bye.
I want to say thank you for listening to today's episode. If this message landed for you, make sure to leave a review and tag me, Nicole Scott, at Gorgeous Gray Movement, and make sure to share with your friends. You can head over to my free Facebook community, Gorgeous Gray Movement, or subscribe to my YouTube channel for more inspiring interviews. If you are still struggling and need additional support, you can take a look at my website, nicolescott.ca, and learn more about my new Menopause Reset program that I'm so excited for. Until next time, ladies, be well and own your sparkle.